What's happening? How y'all doing today? So, uh, I guess today is Friday, and what are we doing today? Well, I just come from dialysis, and now today isn't of any importance really. But last night that was of importance. As you can see right now, I'm in the car. But last night I wasn't. Last night I was in the minivan. First night in the minivan. And let me tell you about that. So I initially had to get the van started because it had been sitting for about a week. I just leave it sitting and forget that it's even there. But I gave it a jump. Mind you, it was 20 degrees when I did that. Maybe 25, somewhere in there. And you gotta excuse me right now. I'm parked on the side of a road. I don't know if y'all can see that. But I gave it a jump and it started. And then I drove up to where my mother's house is and parked it for a second so I could wash clothes. Well, when I come back out about an hour later, it wouldn't start again. So I had to walk to where the car was sitting and get in the car and bring the car up to the van, give it a jump, take the car back to where it was sitting, walk back to the van in the cold. So I got back to the van, and I get in the van and I cut the heat on full blast, and I pull off, and off into the night we go. Yeah. Then I got, well, see, because the van needed oil. And I got all the way to Wawa. And I realized that there was no mask for me to wear. Now, in order to get a mask out of Wawa, you have to go into the Wawa to get the mask. And you have to have a mask on to go get the mask. So I ended up turning around, going back to where the car was parked, and grabbing the mask out. So from there, I left again, went back out, uh, decided to put air in the tires because the tires were almost flat. I went to the gas station, well, it was a little closer, to get gas. And I pulled in thinking that I could just put air in the tires and be on my way, or at least be trying to get some gas. Nope. Of course, it's not that easy for me. I went, parked next to the air pump, pulled the thing out, walked around to the driver's side, put it on the wheel, stood there in the cold in a t-shirt because I thought that it wasn't going to take me but a second to put air in the tire. I'm standing there and standing there and standing there, and this tire doesn't look like it's coming up. And lo and behold, the tire was not coming up. In fact, the machine wasn't even on. So realizing that I've been standing there freezing my gonads off for the past 10 minutes almost, waiting for this tire to inflate that isn't going to inflate, I went around back to the machine and put a quarter in it. Well, see, the machine was there, but the quarter slot was not there. The quarter slot was probably about 5 feet away from the thing, and I don't know how anybody. Okay, so anyway, I finally got air. Then I go up to the gas pump. Not that I needed gas, I needed oil. I pull up to the gas pump, and I buy the oil, put the oil in, get back in the van, pull off, and the heat isn't working. Now, as I'm driving, it starts working again. It starts blowing hot. And then, you gotta excuse me, I'm still eating. But then, I went, from there, I went over to Walmart. Well, I knew I had dialysis today, and normally I park in the dialysis parking lot. But I figured just in case this thing cuts off in the middle of the night or something, I wouldn't be far from where the car is. So I went over to Walmart, and I parked in the Walmart parking lot. Now, it was hard getting comfortable in this thing, but that was good. But by the time I got comfortable and dozed off and went to sleep, I was sleeping good until the heat stopped working. And now it's got a temperature gauge thing up on the roof that tells you how cold and hot it is outside. And it was reading 18 degrees. Yeah. So I sat there for a second, examined the situation at hand, and realized that every time the thermostat opens is when I had heat. Which means it's either out of antifreeze, well, it ain't out of antifreeze, but it sure is low. So I said, all right, I got antifreeze. It's in the trunk of the car. Let me go back to where the car is. Now, see, the car doesn't stay far away from the Walmart, but it's complicated getting there is the problem. There's a bunch of traffic lights and little side streets and things. And, 4 o'clock in the morning, you don't feel like navigating all that. So I went back to where the car was. The minute I made my mind up to put shoes on and get out of the van, the gas light came on. Now, with that being said, the gas light should not have come on. And I say that because it was on a half a tank of gas. Now, I hadn't put no gas in this thing since I've had it. So I don't know if I'm about to run out of gas or what the deal is. But what I do know is that I ain't got no money to put gas in it. So I ended up parking the van and getting in the car where it was warm and driving over to dialysis and just sleeping at dialysis for a few hours. And I don't like to be looked at when I'm eating. I feel like somebody's staring at me. But, yeah. So, I did all that for nothing. I was out there for a total of about 4 or 5 hours last night. Didn't get no sleep. Well, I got a little bit, probably about 30 minutes worth. And we did that, and back in the car I went. Now, while I was sleeping in the car, this is a funny story, funny side note story. While I was asleep this morning, I had a dream that I was driving the car. And I pulled up at the light, and the light was red. I pulled up at a light, and there was a woman in a minivan like mine sitting next to me. And I looked over at her like this. And she looked over at me strangely. And I had a whole bunch of napkins. And I took all the napkins and stuck them in my mouth and looked at her and start chewing them. I don't know what that means in the dream world, but it was quite entertaining because she's just looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And yeah, so yeah, that happened. That was my dream this morning. And I woke up saying to myself, what the fuck am I doing? I'm eating napkins in front of this woman here and staring at her strangely like. And just, I mean, I make stupid faces, but yeah. So that happened. And y'all are probably wondering what the hell is Brother Tom eating? Barbecue steak fries. And it's messy as hell. Definitely gonna have to change my shirt because I got barbecue all over myself. But anyway, what was I about to say? So yeah, that happened. In other news, it's cold. If you are on the eastern seaboard right now or the western one, please, 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 please try to stay warm this weekend because this weekend is supposed to be cold. Now, I ain't one to let the cold bother me very much. I mean, at least not directly. But this weekend, you will freeze. Yeah, you will freeze. You're going to be a frozen van dweller or whatever you dwell in. You're going to be frozen if you ain't got heat, a blanket, something to keep your ass from freezing. So please be careful out there. It's also supposed to snow. I think it's snowing in the desert Southwest, which is crazy. But if it's snowing there, believe me, it's going to probably come down in this region. So Pennsylvania, New York, well, y'all always get that shit, so maybe not so much y'all. Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, all in there, Tennessee, a little bit of Tennessee. Yeah, it's going to come down. It's going to be bad. So prepare yourself because it's going to be rough. Now, I don't have a way to prepare myself because originally preparing myself was getting the van and just gone on ahead staying in the van for the weekend. But that failed miserably, so that's not happening. And here I am. Now, I was about to say something. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Well, see, I don't edit my videos, so y'all get to see all my bloopers and everything. And it is what it is. But anyway, I don't remember what I was about to tell y'all. It was probably funnier than hell. But yeah, that's about it. I'm getting out of here. I'm going somewhere. And I don't know where, but I'm going somewhere, and I'm sure I'm going somewhere. I was originally going to take the van and go somewhere, but I've changed my mind because the van has some issues. So I might just take this car and go somewhere for a few days. Not so much this weekend, but sometime in the next week or two. I'm sorry, these things are irresistible. But sometime in the next week or two. And yeah. So that about sums it up for now. Why do I feel like, oh, okay. Yeah, so that about sums it up for now. And I am on my way back to the van. And I will talk to y'all later, probably tomorrow, more than likely. Y'all will be seeing my wonderful face again. And something I was going to tell y'all. Anyway, I'll just tell y'all tomorrow. But that's all that's going on with me right now. If you haven't told somebody you love them, please make sure you do, because they might end up not waking up, frozen to death and stuff of that nature. And yeah, so please make sure you tell somebody you love them. And shout out to Beautiful Disaster. Y'all should go check her videos out. Name is Beautiful Disaster. That's where I got my Redskins van from. But yeah, definitely go check her videos out. And speaking of which, eventually I'm going to get down there and do an interview with her. But that's a whole nother situation. Make sure you tell somebody you love them. If you like the videos, like, subscribe. If you don't like the videos, like, subscribe anyway. Eventually, sooner or later, maybe when this cold goes away, I'm going to say something or do something that snaps in your mind and says, that boy's a genius. I don't know. You might say that. You might not. You might say, that boy's an idiot. Either way, make sure you like, subscribe, and tell somebody that you love them today. Very important to do, especially in this time of the year. I can't stress that enough. There's so many things I could say about that just do it. And if ain't nobody told you they love you today, I love you, and I will talk to you later.